is here, guys. Are you freaking excited? Listen, this is like my favorite season. I love hoodies. I love sweatpants. Who doesn't love hoodies and sweatpants? And then since the pandemic, all we've been doing is wearing sweatpants with pretty shirts on top because we don't really want people to see that we're really asleep at the bottom. You feel me? So this is the best season. Well, maybe after spring and summer. I don't know. But I'm excited and I hope you guys are too. So listen, here's what I'm here to talk about today. Just did a blog post this past week, how to prepare your body during the fall months for and how fasting can do that. Fasting is one of the ways that we give our body a little bit of a slowdown, a little bit of a rest after we've had a vicious summer of barbecues and eaten all kinds of fries and all kinds of mess. And so our bodies need a little bit of a break. And as fall comes in, this is where we go inward. This is our opportunity to really give our bodies a much needed rest from all of that activity that we had during spring and summer. And so what I'm doing is today I'm talking about just really quickly how fasting benefits the body. And this is my personal account of what I've done or how I've got into fasting almost by accident. Quite interesting. Stay with me. So ever since I've known myself, I've been resistant to fasting because I was introduced to fasting during the Lenten season. And if you grew up Roman Catholic, you know what that means. For 40 days, right after Carnival, if you're Trini, you go into this 40-day period where you fast. Which means, well, when I was little, we didn't fast all the time, but we fasted on a Friday. So like you would give up one thing for Lent. And I hated it. I was resistant. I was like, why do I have to give up something? Why the hell do I need to fast? If you give me a good enough reason why I should be doing it, I will do it. But as it turns out, parents back in the day didn't care whether you had a good reason. If I say to do it, then you had to do it. And so basically that's where it was. And so for me, I was always resistant. Fasting was always a hard thing. When you fast on Good Friday, all you're waiting for is them hot cross buns at 6 p.m. Whew. Listen, I used to have it rough, drinking water during the day. They would talk about, you get closer to God and all this stuff. Listen, that did not make sense to me as a kid. Now that I'm in my adulthood, I understand what parents were trying to prepare us for. And had I listened and adopted that practice years ago, my body would have been in better shape now. But I digress. I've come to understand that fasting can have its long-term benefits, right? And that doing it at intervals can assist the body in weight loss, which I think a lot of us are interested in, and to stimulate restoration and rejuvenation of our cells. We don't do that very much when we need to. But two of the things that I've found that fasting really does really well is that when we fast, nutrients, vitamins, minerals get redistributed into our bodies to help sustain us. And two, all these infected cells and old tissues, toxins, and other unwanted materials dissolve away. So that's really two really good reasons why we should even fast in the first place. Number three, fasting is beneficial to reducing inflammation. And I would note here that inflammation, chronic inflammation, is really the root cause of a lot of our diseases. Cancer, diabetes, you name it. Chronic inflammation in our bodies is really the cause. And we only get hip to when we have chronic inflammation when you get diagnosed with what we call autoimmune diseases, like I have. And so we need to pay particular attention to what we eat, when we eat, why we're eating, and all of the above, because all of these things can really impact our health, as we are learning now. So I've implemented intermittent fasting a few months now. I tried it a few years ago and it worked fantastic, but I don't think the reasoning behind why I did it was really succinct. You know what I mean? Sometimes you have to try things a few times in order to understand why you're really doing it and how it really works with your body. And so I think I've got it down pat now. That yeah. So I started adding intermittent fasting into my daily routine because I started having like acid reflux and stomach issues. Everything I ate made me upset. I felt like it was sitting in my throat. I felt like I was constantly bloated, which is not a good thing when you're trying to be cute, you know? Y'all know what I'm talking about. And I started noticing that when I eat late in the day, some of these symptoms would dissipate. And so for me, I was just like, wait, something's happening here. Something's happening that I need to pay attention to. And to be completely transparent with you guys, I've always been a roll out of bed, breakfast in my bowl type of person ever since I was a kid. If I don't eat, I'll be hungry. Everybody knows it. And so adopting this new lifestyle was a little bit of a challenge, but I wanted to do it because I wanted to feel better. And that's what it's all about at the end of the day. It's about feeling better. So saw a post one morning. What really changed for me is that I saw a post one morning by Plant-Based Tequila, and she literally was talking about, instead of shoving food down our stomachs as we roll out of bed, which was me, by the way, we should instead take a few hours to continue hydrating, because the process of elimination has not stopped the minute we wake up, right? It continues for a few hours, and if we use those hours to hydrate, we get our water in, we leave our bodies time to complete the process of elimination, and we give it rest, and then we prepare the body for the next meal. I decided to give it a try, and it just opened up all of these windows of opportunity for me and for my body to feel much better. So I found that foregoing a meal in the morning really helps my body. And I have been consuming liquids till about, I wake up about 7:30, and then I consume liquids till about 11. So for 3 hours, my body is able to shift, is able to do its own thing. Yeah, it gave my body a chance to reset, and it curbed my eating a lot to just a few hours for the rest of the day, which we call intermittent fasting, right? And what it's done for me is that it's resulting now in slow and steady weight loss and less inflammation, less bloating. Something that my acupuncturist had mentioned to me when I wanted to go on a fast detox and lose all the weight once. She was like, slow and steady, Mel, slow and steady. So my fasting is not just fasting to fast, but it is aiding my body in what it currently needs, which is a little bit of rest before food consumption. And here are some of the liquids that I drink before eating every day. So good old-fashioned water. I wake in the morning and have a glass of water. Coconut water has helped to revitalize me in the morning. So if I'm feeling super hungry, so sometimes every day is not the same. So sometimes you get up super hungry. So coconut water to rehydrate really quickly. Kombucha, which I did not know had hydrating properties, works really well. And the thing with kombucha for me is that I started using kombucha because of the way my stomach was feeling. And I said, you know what, I'm going to just use kombucha. Drink some kombucha to kind of settle out my stomach. But it has been doing a lot more than that, because now I can drink it in the morning when I want to hydrate. And then herbal teas, of course. I have all of the above. Any kind of herbal tea. The less caffeine, the better. I love black tea. I love chai tea. But because it has some of them have a really high caffeine count, I kind of stay far from it. But yes, herbal teas at hot or room temperature, anything that's hot going down first thing in the morning is ideal. And so that's my fasting story. And if you're still a skeptic after listening to this, I suggest that you check out my website, and check out the blog post where I share an account of Dr. Sebi's son talking a little bit about our bodies and the way we need to approach it. Thanks for stopping by as usual, and drop a comment. Let me know how you're doing. Do you have an inflammatory disease? Do you have an autoimmune disease? Let me know. We can talk. See you all soon.